because when you shine a clear light into a prism, it gives you 7 colors, right? So these 7 colors then are the 7 layers or the bands in between worlds. And then you get to the next octave. And then there's 7 more layers and then the next octave. Now, if you took something from band 3 here and matched it with something from band 3 down, what you would say is down here, just like with music, you would see that they have some really, really harmonic similarities, right? So this is also how the reality is generated. You have Costa Rica, and then you have SWATs in Oakland. And these are 2 opposite frequencies of different spectrum, but holding the spectrum. That way, if you ever decide that you want to go into violet harmonics, then you have the opportunity to. But if you want to stay in the red zone, then you have an opportunity to. So it also changes based on your energy, right? So you're really definitely being judged on what you do and what you decide. That's actually why you're here, right? Versus in the other environment. So this thing gets a little deeper, because obviously we're not the first ones to arrive here. What occurred is this knowledge that I'm telling you about, that basically the body's a universe, that's how you can sum it up. It's a map of this immediate galaxy. You never left yourself without some type of way of figuring out where you were. When you decided to wake up, you're inside of the body that is a map of where you can go and how to function. So that whole myth that we started as cavemen, or comparing the cavemen skeletons to what kind of beings we were back then, is the same as trying to compare an Aborigine Bushman skeleton to a guy from New York. You see what I mean? There's always a sliding scale of the different kind of entities that exist here, but it's never going to just be one thing. So let's see, I'm trying to think of what would be more prevalent. It's really just to answer your questions. Like, as you see, there's no question that I can't really answer about this immediate universe, and even some of them that are adjacent to this one, because the knowledge matches up with, everything that's happening here. If you're looking under the microscope, sometimes you have to look at it that deep, or using a macro or something that can show it to you on a bigger scale. But if you have some questions, it'd be a good time. The judgment is something that takes place inside of it's your intuition. It's your moral bearing. You know when you're doing something wrong. Nobody has to tell you that, right? It's just about whether you're able to convince yourself of it or not, or to do it or not. And remember, this is the 2 snakes. This is why the 2 snakes, they come up and they terminate right here. If the globe is your head, right, on that Caudacea staff, the 2 snakes are right here because they're whispering in the ear. Now, in the Arab tradition, they know way more about this than the English tradition. They say, Udu billahi min shaitan regime, meaning protect us from the whispers of shaitan. Because the knowledge of that this entity that is like a serpent does not have a voice box. It's neither good nor bad, or plays both roles. You see what I mean? It's basically what you hear as your thoughts. That's why it says, it has a whisper that can't be heard. It can't, nobody will hear it unless they can read your mind. And that's why it's inside of your mind.